Hello, everybody. Name's Melvin, and happy Halloween. I'm gonna be reading the fourth chapter of my second book called "The Protectors of Earth" and "A Walking Nightmare." It's a bit graphic, violent, so enjoy. And since it is Halloween, could you comment your favorite horror movie? I just love the genre. All right, chapter four. Christopher is inside one of the many classrooms at the university for the Protectors of Earth. He does not have to speak loudly because there is not many students in his class. They are mostly teenagers, and all of them already know about what is really out there because all of their parents work for the Protectors of Earth. The best way to kill a supernatural being is to take its head. Now, mind you that it only kills the body that the demon is controlling, but the demon goes directly back to hell, and then a reaper judges the person, and depending on what that individual did in their own life, they either go to heaven or hell. Christopher reads a passage from a textbook from his class, Basic Demonology 101. Isn't there a way to send the demon back to hell and still save the innocent's life? One of the 8 kids that are in the classroom announces. And it is a good question to ask. Of course there is, but it takes time to do that. And when you are surrounded by demons, you don't have a lot of time to save the person's life. I am trying to teach you how to stay alive, not how to keep a complete stranger alive. Christopher answers his student's question. Then they all jot down notes of how to kill a demon properly from inside their own textbooks. So how could you kill a demon where it would be trapped in hell? The same student asks another question. There is a way, but that is some advanced stuff. Usually when a Class B demon is killed, what is left of his tainted soul goes back to hell, and he stays down there for quite a while. So for the time being, stick to low-level demons and zombies. Okay? You will learn everything that you need to know before you are sent out on any mission. So just focus on what is in front of you. In every class that he teaches, he always seems to get one student that wants to know more than they should know. But before the student could question him anymore, the bell rings, telling the teenagers that their current class is over. So all of them quickly close their textbooks, grab their things, and swarm out of the classroom like a group of bees. Christopher sits down onto his chair that is behind his desk, turns on his computer, and notices that he has an email from the headmaster Gabriel. So he must read it, hoping that it's a case because teachers students can get exhausted. After he opens the email, he finds out that Gabriel would like to see him and Matthew after their classes are completed. Well, he knows that his is over, but he is not sure what Matthew is doing at the moment. So he stands up and exits through the already open classroom door. He walks down a corridor, down 2 flights of steps, through 2 doors, and then finally he is standing outside Matthew's class, looking inside a small window. He sees that the class is still in session, and he does not have the same amount of teenagers in his class as Christopher has in his. But instead of sitting in desks, the students are practicing with their swordsmanship techniques, offensive and defensive. Another bell echoes throughout the building as all of the students put away their swords and equipment, and then they all exit through the door in a single file line talking about how this is their favorite class. After everybody is out of his way, Christopher enters the classroom and sees Matthew practicing his swordsmanship skills all by himself. Do you want somebody to practice with? Christopher walks over towards the rack that holds all the unused swords and grabs one for himself. Sure, it's always better when you have an opponent. The swords begin to clash against each other. By the way, did you read the email that Gabriel sent? Yes, I did. But he can wait until we are finished here. The swords clash a couple more times. But what if he can't wait because what he has to say is very important? Gabriel enters the classroom. He acts like he knows everything, which is probably true from Christopher and Matthew's perspective. But yet, he is so young for being such an informative headmaster. Then I would say, how important is it? Christopher and I need to be on the top of our game. Supernatural beings are getting stronger, smarter, and they are multiplying every day. Matthew places his sword back in its rack. Christopher does the same thing. And when they both look back at Gabriel, it isn't every day that he has a mission for any of his teachers, so they're confused. Your training is important as much as you teaching your students, but I fear that something is going on inside the ranks of the Protectors of Earth, something that I might have overlooked. Gabriel pauses for a second. I am not afraid to tell you, Headmaster, but if you can't figure it out, we sure as hell won't be able to, Matthew adds. What I want you to do for me is to find your ex-pupil, Rebecca. She has 2 civilians that are under her wing that we need to keep safe. Whatever you need us to do, Headmaster, but we will need the mission guidelines before we depart. Christopher suggests, when you are packed and ready to go, I want you both to meet me in my office. You will be told everything you want to know then. How long do we have until we leave? Matthew wants as much free time as he can get. 30 minutes. Gabriel turns around and exits the classroom door. When you are the headmaster of a secret university in order to train young adults into hunters without them becoming psychotic killers themselves, you don't have any time for small talk. Yes, Headmaster. Both of them reply in unison, telling him that they both understand. Afterwards, they don't waste any time, as they both go into their own separate rooms, as they can do what they gotta do before they have to leave in 30 minutes. Christopher gathers some of his clothes and also some of his textbooks. He figures he does not know what to expect, so he will bring a little bit of everything with him. After all his bags are packed, he places his sword that is inside his carrying case onto his left shoulder. He grabs the bag of clothes with his left hand, the bag of books with his right, and then exits through the door. He has to walk through his classroom because his study is adjacent to it. But before he can even think about crossing it, one of his students is at the classroom door, looking at him as if he is worried. He sees that the boy is missing his left hand, and the blood is dripping down onto the carpet. The boy even looks faint and white, like he has seen something that is just like what they are studied in his class. Son, what happened to you? Christopher briskly walks over to the wounded teenager. I was attacked, the boy screams, grabbing his stub. Do you know where your attacker ran? Christopher drops both of his bags, takes out his sword, and gets ready for a chase, and maybe a proper kill. I didn't see anything. I was standing outside the front door of the school, and then something ripped off my hand. The boy cries as he begins to fall to the floor, and how much blood that he has lost. Christopher is a little surprised that his student has not already passed out. He is a lot stronger than he looks. I need a healer in my classroom immediately. Christopher uses the walkie-talkie app on his cell phone and screams for help. Then he drops his phone onto the floor and exits as quickly as he can outside of the school, already to take this supernatural being's head that attacked his student. Once outside, he sees a zombie's head and arms sticking out of the ground. He looks like he is trying to crawl out of his own grave. Christopher looks at the zombie as an unworthy target, but nonetheless, he has to kill. So he takes its head, then he walks back through the doors knowing that now somebody must kill his student, only because he is now going to quickly die, but then come back alive as flesh-eating, grotesque zombie. He enters his classroom and sees that the teenage boy's head is already severed from his body. So he sheathes his sword and sees Matthew standing in front of the corpse with his sword out and a little blood on the tip of it. It had to be done, Gabriel says from somewhere behind Matthew. I know it did, and I already killed the zombie that ate his arm to begin with. Christopher walks over and stands next to Gabriel. Now that worries me. Supernatural beings can't get inside this school. When it was built, the ground was sketched with spells and enchantments that makes it difficult for supernatural beings to cross and makes it impossible for humans to see unless they have seen it and know what it is here. Know it is here. What has that got to do with anything? Matthew resheathes his sword and joins the conversation. It's a very bad omen, and for some strange reason that Lucifer and all of his demons and zombies are getting stronger, and that also worries me. Gabriel turns around and begins to walk back to his office. Christopher and Matthew both know that they have a meeting with him anyways, so they both join him as he walks through the school and into his office. The school day has ended, so there is no teenagers left roaming the hallways. But the teachers are still there, and every single one of them have been agents for the Detectives of Earth for a long time. So Gabriel does not have to explain anything to any of them, because they already know what's going on. So can you tell us what this is all about? Matthew closes the door, as he does not want to waste any more time. Take a seat, both of you. Gabriel commands. Christopher and Matthew quickly respond. No matter what happens in this school, the least I expect is respect from my agents. Then Gabriel takes a seat behind his desk. Now, your mission is more important now than it was before. He hands Christopher and Matthew each a yellow folder. I want you to find your ex-student Rebecca. She has 2 charges that I need you to escort here. It is imperative that I have a conversation with both of them. Why do you need to talk to them? By what this says, they are just ordinary civilians. Christopher skims through the folder. Let me just say that there are things that I can't speak of because they are classified. Jacob's father and Brittany's mother were both very skilled field agents. They closed more cases than any field agent nowadays can come close to. So trust me when I tell you this. That the sooner you get all 3 of them here, the better off we will all be. Why? What's the rush? Are they in danger or being hunted by something? Matthew trained Rebecca in sword fighting, and she is a very talented student, so he highly doubts that she needs their assistance unless it is absolutely necessary. Actually, no. She's not in any trouble at the moment, but if we don't get Jacob and Brittany on top of their game soon, I fear that it might be too late. Too late for what? I am sensing that evil supernatural beings are planning something big. If we aren't ready for it, we will all be doomed. What can I say? I'm trying to plan on our future lives in the realm of the living. I wonder what they are planning. Supernatural beings usually don't join up with other beings. Christopher closes the folder. He does not believe that he is what he is hearing. Usually, evil supernatural beings do not work together because when they do, they all normally disagree on a lot of issues, so it usually ends up in violence. You're right, Christopher. This would be the first time that I know about when demons and vampires actually work together. So whatever they are planning, it's going to be huge and possibly wipe out all of the human population. Now, do you see why I'm so worried? Yes, I do. So we will go to the Eastern headquarters, and the headmaster there will tell us where we can find it. Christopher stands up out of his seat. He is ready to go on an actual mission. You both might be very skilled professors here at this university, but I must warn you that it is much more dangerous out there than it was when you were field agents. So watch yourself. Take it slow. And once you get to the Eastern headquarters, I want you to tell the headmaster there that I need him to have a team for both of you to lead on standby. Matthew also stands up out of his seat and follows Christopher out of the door. Who knows what might happen to them once they get outside the university. All they know is that they need a break from teaching and get into something more dangerous. Alright, everybody, hope if you love horror movies like I do, like, comment, share, comment your favorite horror movie especially. Oh, alright, have a good night.